Today we are going to be reacting to an absolute banger from LilSmurf, the problem with Fortnite and nostalgia. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, typically with the reaction videos, I save them and I have an authentic reaction for you. I have already seen this video and I thought it was great. You guys need to go give LilSmurf a follow because he brought up some incredible points here, especially with OG. At the time of recording this video, OG is just around the corner, but this video, it just will age like fine wine because it is the problem with Fortnite and nostalgia, guys. I won't say any more long-winded intro. Let's get into this.
Fortnite Chapter 1 is a time that you probably look back on fondly. Your friends were all playing the game, no one was complaining about anything that ever got added to the game, and even in Chapter 2, it was just such a good time to play Fortnite.
And I personally, I understand what he's saying, but I personally had fun with Fortnite throughout the entirety. And Chapter 5 was really the only one that was a little bit bumpy for me.
It was sort of just like a you had to be there moment. And when Season OG happened, it was Fortnite's peak. 40 million people logged on one day, and over 100 million people played in the month of November.
And the success of it makes total sense, but it's a good way to describe it as a you had to be there moment because it just was a special time, not only for gaming, but when Fortnite first came out, it's incredible that a video game changed the world. I went to work. No matter if it was a kid or an adult that I'm talking to, everybody was playing Fortnite when it first came out. It really, honestly, it really was a special time.
Those are insane numbers. That shows that Chapter 1 was just the superior chapter to every other chapter, right? Now, before you go down and comment, this guy would never be able to understand the complexity of Chapter 1. First of all, I started back in Season 4. I'm an OG. I have an opinion on this game that I want.
For clarity on this as well, I started back in Chapter 1, Season 3, and I've been playing the game ever since with no breaks. I've enjoyed myself every single season.
Want to share. Before we get into that, however, I just want to say, we hit 10,000 subscribers. That's pretty crazy. Genuinely, thank you all. It's insane that we were able to do this in 1 year. Like, that's freaking crazy.
And guys, honestly, if you have not checked out LilSmurf, the content is absolutely fantastic over there. We have another reaction to another video from his, and the links will be there in the description, pinned comment down below. This is a fantastic Fortnite commentary channll.
With that being said, we hit 10K before 2025. So you know what that means?
Okay. All right, I'm gonna skip this party. You have to go check out his channel to watch it because he did advertise an elbow reveal for 10K. It was a really solid thing to do, and LilSmurf, we're going to continue on with the video over here.
Community during Chapter 1 because no one was complaining during this time, right? No, actually, there were a lot of people who were complaining, such as all the way back in Season 5. In Season 5, the P90 got added, and it sort of introduced the spray and pray meta that a lot of people like to call it.
Now, it's so refreshing to hear somebody talking about this because I don't know what the hell happened. Everybody just forgot about it. Like, when you bring up the term blinded by nostalgia, it so applies to Chapter 1 and how people feel about it. And I've been saying, and I've went through it, I'm not going to go through the entire thing with you guys. Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 5, the game has been dying every single season since Chapter 1 Season 5. Everybody looks back on Chapter 1 like it was the greatest thing ever. No, people started whining and crying just as bad as you've seen throughout the entirety of Chapter 5, 4, 3, and 2, if not worse. There were parts of Chapter 1 that were worse. If you think the community is bad now, you guys have seen nothing.
And people were mad about this. I remember very vividly when people were complaining about the P90, saying that this would kill Fortnite and that they missed the old Fortnite.
Yep. And it's, again, like, there's no other word for it. That's why I really wanted to react to this video because it's so refreshing. I've always sat down and I'm like, am I the only one who remembers how the community actually thought about Chapter 1? You want to talk about Season 4? And prior to that, yeah, it was sunshines and rainbows. Chapter 1, Season 5, and beyond, besides maybe parts of Season 8, man, guys, it was a bad time to be a Fortnite fan. Everybody remembers Chapter 1, Season 7 as one of the greatest seasons ever. Yeah, right.
Sound familiar? Season 6, during Fortnitemares, they added zombies, which, again, people hated. Season 7 added the planes, and oh my gosh, people hated the planes.
They wouldn't shut up about this entire season. Planes, Infinity Blade, balloons, whatever it was, even the snow update, people didn't like how big the mountain was on Polar Peak. Like, it was everything about the season. Now, if you ask somebody about Season 7 nowadays, they'll be like, oh my god, Epic Games captured the vibe so nicely, and it sucks because now I'm sitting here and I'm glazing Chapter 1 Season 7, but it really was one of my favorite seasons ever. I loved the plane, I loved the Infinity Blade. I've been consistent, man. I've been consistent, but the community has not.
I remember back when Season 7 first came out, I was talking to some of my friends about the planes that got added, and I said to them that I actually kind of liked the planes, and one of my friends said, "Shut up, you don't enjoy true Fortnite."
I've never related to a video more in my entire life. Oh my god. And again, refreshing. It's so refreshing. And for those of you who comment down below, because I see your comments, there are people who agree with me on this, and it's nice that somebody also remembers the season how it was.
How everyone looks back on Season 7 and says, "Oh my gosh, the winter vibes were all here. The Christmas music, oh my gosh, I love the Christmas music. I can feel it coming inside of me." Season 8 had slightly less complaining, but there still was a lot of it because of the ballers, and people were saying that Fortnite was going to die to Apex Legends.
Oh my god, every single game that's ever come out, every single game. I'm so sick of it, man, and I'm so sick of Game Wars. Like, why is it, and it's died down a little bit now, but why is it every time a new game came out, this is going to be the Fortnite killer? Why can't you just enjoy both games? Plus, no game, if you guys haven't figured it out, by the way, Fortnite's not dying. It's been dying since Chapter 1 Season 5 in 2018. Still not dead yet. And all of these other games that came out, and by the way, as time's gone on, they've only copied Fortnite. This game is not killable.
Which is pretty funny. Then came Season 9 when they removed the pump shotgun, and there was an absolute uproar during that season.
Not only that, the combat shotgun, because it was like a sniper, and I will admit to you, it was busted. I personally enjoy it. I don't care about overpowered things. I've been consistent in my love for just about the entirety of Chapter 1, but man, like, the combat shotgun was the next Fortnite killer. You know, the fact that they vaulted tilted towers was crazy.
People hated the combat shotgun and said that Fortnite was going to be on a downfall. This is the season that kills Fortnite. They also got rid of tilted and replaced it with neo tilted, which,
guys, the same points have been on repeat since Chapter 1 Season 5 in 2018. I don't understand how people can seriously look at you dead in the eyes and still say this stuff. Like, maybe it was a little bit understandable back in Chapter 1 Season 5 because the game started to go through some changes. Even then, it didn't make sense. But, like, to still say it today, man, insane.
people were also up in arms about. Then came Season X, and oh my god. I don't really think I need to explain why people hated Season X so much. I mean, the mechs alone were causing people to rage quit and just all out quit the game, quote unquote. And people were getting tired of Chapter 1. They were saying that Fortnite was going on for too long and
also they were getting tired of weekly POI updates, by the way. Weekly new weapons, weekly POI updates. And people were dying since Chapter 1 Season 9 and especially in Season X to get off of this map. It's boring. Epic Games needs to move on. We need a Fortnite 2. Things like that, as long as your skins and you get into the details of it. But you know what I mean.
it should just end right then and there. And then it basically did for 2 days with the Black Hole event. Now, think of this from the perspective of a non-Fortnite player. They probably saw all of this and they were like, wow, the community hated these seasons a lot. Surely they still have the same opinions as of right now, right? No, they do not have the same opinions as they did back then. Every single day it feels like you see constant nostalgia edits of the better Fortnite. Hashtag nostalgia overload.
And I know out of everything, they picked Chapter 1 Season 7 to probably... I don't know if it's more than anything. It's definitely OG Fortnite, and a lot of it is Chapter 1 Season 7, but you see it for the entirety of Chapter 1. Oh my god, it was so much better back then. And the nostalgia edit for, like, people flying a plane, people using balloons, people using the heavy sniper, people driving around in golf carts. Everybody hated it. You remember, like, that movement was so problematic for Fortnite. That vehicle's too much. Unbelievable.
Which is really funny to me because I see these nostalgic edits of Winterfest from 2018 and I'm like, bro, you hated this season. And remember that friend I was talking about who said that he hated Season 7 because of the planes? Well, I talked to him now and he says, oh yeah, Season 7 was such a good season. It's hands down my favorite of all time. Like,
and this, guys, this specific scenario, I have the exact memory of. If this person in my real life is watching this video, you probably know who you are. I love you with all of my heart, but this is you. And for our friend group who plays, you know exactly who I'm talking about. This same stuff will be spat out of their mouths, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, they yapped and yapped and yapped about how much they hated this season, they hated the updates, they hated the loophole, everything. Everything. This, the online community. And all of a sudden, oh, back in Chapter 1, Season 7, if only I could play that once again, man. Like, this was one of the most hated seasons of all time. Chapter 1, Season 7. Of all time. Maybe that's a good tier list video. Ranking seasons by what the... Oh, that's a good one. Ranking seasons by... I'm definitely going to be working on that. Ignore me.
What? Why are all of you guys switching sides all of a sudden? I thought we all hated Chapter 1. And it happens every single chapter. Remember Chapter 2? People were hating on that too. People hated Season 2. People hated Season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They hated all of the seasons in there.
Well, I will disagree with Smurf a little bit on this. While you did see the typical, like, Fortnite's dying thing, that thing was pretty consistent within, like, the people who kept posting about it. Chapter 2 did have some very, very high periods as well.
That chapter. But then Chapter 3 rolls around and they're like, oh my gosh, maybe we were too hard on Chapter 2. It was actually pretty good. And
you're seeing it with Chapter 5 right now. People, all the nostalgic pose you're seeing for Chapter 5 Season 1, give it a couple years and you're going to be seeing it for Fortnite Wrecked. Mark my words, you're going to be seeing it for Fortnite Wrecked.
You go to Chapter 4 and people are like, oh, maybe we were too hard on Chapter 3. You know, it was actually pretty good. I love the Spider-Man. And now Chapter 5 rolls around and people were like, oh my gosh, I miss Chapter 4 so much. Take me back, Fortnite. Take me back. And I can guarantee you that the same thing is going to happen in Chapter 6. Even if Chapter 6 has better gameplay, story, live events, everything.
Yep.
People are still going to hate on it and say that old thing better.
It's so far so good for Chapter 6, but believe me, the nostalgia posts will come.
People are gonna say, oh, maybe we were too hot on Chapter 5, even though I remember people absolutely hated Chapter 5 with a passion.
And guys, for those of you who haven't been around in Chapter 1, if you thought the community was bad and you thought that people hated the game in Chapter 5, it is nothing compared to Chapter 1. Chapter 1 Season 5, all the way to Chapter 1 Season X, with the exception of Season 8. Little bit of Season 9 as well, but still. The vast majority of Chapter 1, post-Season 5, or post-Season 4, because Season 5 was included in that, it wasn't even close. The hate that Chapter 5 got, it was not even close to the hate the community was spewing out in Chapter 1. And for some reason, this is why I love this video, for some reason, Smurf, myself, and a few other people that I see in the comments are the only ones who remember this, and it's completely accurate. I'm not wrong.
I'm a YouTuber. I should know the amount of complaining that happened during Chapter 5, and some of it was justified, and I can guarantee you that people are going to look past all of the bad aspects of Chapter 5 and immediately start making TikTok nostalgic edits of it because they miss the quote-unquote old Fortnite. I'm already seeing it happen. I was scrolling on social media the other day, and I saw a nostalgic edit for Chapter 5 Season 1.
Yep, it's all starting. It's all starting. All of a sudden, everybody's coming out saying, and I know that, okay, before I get into it, guys, you viewers specifically may be consistent with your logic and your takes, okay? But you can't argue the vast majority of the online Fortnite community hated Chapter 5 Season 1, and now we're seeing all these nostalgic posts for it. It's crazy.
And I do not want to hear no nostalgic edits of that. I remember the amount of hate that Season 1 got. People were saying we weren't getting enough content. People were saying that the TMNT collab felt out of place, which it did. People said the Metal Gear Solid collab was wasted. People were saying that the Reaper sniper rifle was annoying. People were saying horrible things about this season, calling it bottom 3 seasons of all time. I do not want to see you making nostalgic edits of that, knowing that 5 months ago, you were calling this the worst season of all time.
Yep.
Listen, it's fine to have your opinion change over time, but we go through this same cycle over and over and over again. Every single season, we look back on the past one, and we're like, maybe it wasn't actually that bad.
Yeah, the only one, and you know what, not even that. Because I was about to sit here and say, well, at least people were consistent with their hate for Season X, but even then, people are going back and talking about, like, what great updates we had and stuff like that. Nuh-uh. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it.
What I'm saying here is Chapter 1 was good. Don't make this a hate video on Chapter 1, because that was not what I was trying to do with this video.
And same here, in case anybody thinks the same thing about what I'm talking about. I enjoyed Chapter 1 in its fullest. I believe Season 9 was my only rocky season, and a little bit of Season 6, but I enjoyed myself throughout the entirety of playing Fortnite, so I'm just talking about the hate that it got.
But recently, it was announced that Chapter 1 is going to be coming back permanently. And it seems like Fortnite is going to go out of their way to make it as quote-unquote OG as possible. They're bringing back OG gun models. It's going to be the Chapter 1 Season 1 map. And it's going to bring back Double Pump, which is something that I never thought Fortnite would do. However, I'm still more hyped for Chapter 6 than I am for OG's return.
I'm personally glad, and I would imagine that a lot of you might be watching this video after Season OG has come out, because this video is going to release very, very close. If not, I don't even know if it's going to be after OG, but regardless, I'm glad that both things are here. I don't know how successful Chapter 1, Season 1 is going to be, but as time goes on, as they update the seasons and we get into like Season 3, Season 4, then I think it'll be a great thing. But people are going to remember they're going to quickly remember how problematic Double Pump was.
And I will always be more hyped for something new coming than something old coming back. And I feel like Fortnite is sort of relying on nostalgia a little bit too much at this point. I mean, seriously, let's think about this. Why was Fortnite OG so successful and so much fun? It's because it's been 5 years since we've gone back to that map.
That, and it was only available for a month, and I know before you comment down below and talk about how horrible of a business practice that is, I'm not going to have that conversation, but the fear of missing out, they did a really, really good job in making you not want to miss out, so you're going to play as much as possible throughout that 1 month. It's a very, very smart thing on Epic's end, whether or not you disagree or agree that it's a nice business practice, it's effective.
Half of a decade, and there was almost no way for you to play on the OG map. The only other ways that were somewhat close were private servers, which weren't really that safe or secure, so those were kind of out of the picture, or those UEFN recreations back in Mega, which were really buggy, were not monetized, which led to people not being able to play it properly.
It just didn't feel the same. It didn't hit the mark. I personally didn't enjoy myself on any of those maps. Nothing against the creators. It wasn't the same as Epic Games actually publishing like an actual OG mode or an OG season.
So overall, there was no way for you to play the Chapter 1 map in its entirety. And when Season OG came back, it was so hype because everyone was excited to play on the OG map with the OG loot pool. Everyone came back. All of your friends came back. Everyone was on this game. It was such a fun time to play Fortnite. And then came Reload. Okay, it's a permanent chapter.
Yeah, the problem is, I get what he's talking about, the Fortnite's relying on nostalgia a little too much, but the problem is that they did Season OG really, really well. Fortnite Remix is where they kind of screwed it up, but even Fortnite Reload, if you want to talk about all of the great nostalgic things that got brought into Reload, it's like a spin on the OG gameplay that we all loved. A lot of us loved it because of hit scan. A lot of us loved it because it's consistent fighting. There's very few bots. I don't think that they're relying on it too much in that sense. I can understand the argument if you're going to get into bringing back OG over and over again and bringing back OG personally, but I don't think that Reload is really anything to bring up with this personally.
Chapter 1 mode, but it adds a little twist on it. That's pretty cool. But we just had OG a while back. Why do we need this right now? And then we go into Remix, and it's like, okay, they're bringing back another old map in order to boost up player numbers, which, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing recreation, and Epic Games did a good job at recreating the map, but at the same time, it's just And now we're getting permanent OG. This makes it the 3rd time that we've gone back to the Chapter 1 map.
But the thing is, I also like that it's only a 1 month thing. I wouldn't like it if it was the length of a full season. I like the way that they did it. They dropped the ball with Remix just a little bit, but regardless, the majority of the times they've done that with, if you want to talk about Reload, if you want to talk about the OG season, I think they did a really, really good job so far.
I mentioned that now we technically have 2 permanent OG modes in the game. Do we really need 2? Were there aspects of Chapter 1 that were better than modern Fortnite? Yes. Were there aspects of modern Fortnite that were better than Chapter 1? Yes. I'm not saying that one chapter is better than the other, but I'm saying that people are putting on rose-tinted glasses and looking back on something that people originally hated.
And yeah, it's crazy. And that's why I always talk about, man, all it takes is a little bit of a mindset shift, because how many people do you know that hated so many things about Chapter 1? They came back to OG, they play with all these new mechanics, things that they're not familiar with, things that they might have hated, or even some weapons that they hated. Perhaps they didn't like the season with the hoverboard. They're having a lot of fun flying down on the hoverboard, and now they're sitting back and going, yeah, we're back home, boys. We're back home. Meanwhile, back in Chapter 1, they hated those same things. That's what I always talk about when it's a complete mindset switch. Plus, the rose-tinted glasses are so true when it comes to a game like Fortnite. Because, Double Pump's a perfect example. People are going to quickly remember why Double Pump was a problem. Everyone's looking back on it just because it's OG. Double Pump's OG. It's going to be awesome. You might be watching this by the time Double Pump's out. That's going to be a problem, man. It's going to be a real big problem.
And if you did enjoy those seasons, that's amazing, and I'm glad that you enjoyed those seasons. I'm talking about the people who didn't enjoy those seasons and are now immediately switching sides because old good, new bad.
Yeah, and they'll convince themselves, mindset shift, that's all it takes. You're going to hop on and you're going to actively try to have fun, and that's all it takes to have fun at a video game.
I think Fortnite is just relying a little bit too much on nostalgia now. I also think that it's going to get rid of the novelty of OG.
That's so true. That's completely true, because everybody remembers OG Fortnite as the experience that it was. And that's another thing, man. That's another problem with this is, well, first of all, I think the novelty part was really well said. And actually, I'm going to let Smurf finish his point with this before I change it up a little bit.
Because, once again, back when it first got announced, it had been almost half a decade since it came out. People were excited to finally play on the OG map again, and when it left, it felt like people got their money's worth of the game because they were able to play on the OG map for a good amount of time. But now that it's going to be around permanently, I feel like people are going to realize Chapter 1's flaws, and it's also going to make Chapter 1 feel less special.
And this is what I was going to bring up. The thing is, it's never going to feel like OG Fortnite. Unless they litter the map with bots, which I can very well see them doing, especially since Chapter 6 has such few bots at the time of recording this video. Unless they litter it with bots, the reason that it was so great is because everybody was just messing around with impulse grenades, killing their teammates. I always point back to Chapter 1, Season 5, where we literally played golf instead of the game. We went to Lazy Links and we played golf. People would run up and play golf with us, and then you built all of those, like, amazing memories playing this game where not everybody was, well, I mean, people were trying to win, but you get the point of what I'm talking about. That's not going to happen anymore. Everybody is so much better now. So much better. The only way to maybe make it feel like OG is with the bots, and that's a big maybe, because you're still not going to have those same experiences of like running into the default, letting the default win, things like that.
It just be permanently around is going to make everything sort of blend together, and it's not going to feel entirely new or nostalgic because it's just always going to be around.
He's completely correct in that. For me personally, and I would imagine that some other people feel the same way, I think that's true for the majority of people. For me, I'll still hold those memories and cherish them near and dear to my heart. Like, the fact that I'm replaying these maps won't change the memories back then, but I think for a lot of people it unfortunately will.
Before I end this video, I just want to say that this is my opinion. You can go ahead and call me a new gen in the comments and all of that. I'm just saying that Chapter 1 has problems, but so does new Fortnite. And I am just more excited for new Fortnite than I am something old coming back. For example, I'd probably put my Chapter 6 hype on a scale at 9, and I'd probably put my Chapter 1 hype at probably like a 4 or 5. That's all I really wanted to say. Be sure to like and subscribe. Use code LilSmurf.
And guys, LilSmurf is, like I said, man, he made a fantastic video, fantastic channel. Every single upload I enjoy of his. I watch all of his videos, and this one I just wanted to make a reaction video because, again, it was refreshing to see somebody actually saying the same things that I've been saying on this channel for so long. It shouldn't be refreshing, but unfortunately it is. I'd love to hear from you guys and what you think about the topic. First of all, check LilSmurf out, pinned comment, description down below, but for whatever reason, if you already watch his content, if you are already subscribed to him, then why don't you check out this other reaction video that we did on LilSmurf's channel? I would love to have you guys over there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care.